Welcome back to the Venus Rising Show with your host, Venus Vox. You are listening to KMKR 99.9 FM, coming to you live in Tucson, Arizona, and we are located in the Xerocraft building. You can go to Xerocraft, that's Xerocraft, Xerocraft with an X.org/listen to be able to listen to the show, or bit.ly/ all capital letters KMKRAZ. Anyway, today in the studio I have a special guest named Elle Lockler. She is an artist and has recently published her book with Just Maya Publishing. Her book is called Cradle of Grace. And yes, listen to her story. She has been creating art in the past year and has this wonderful opportunity of creating her book and has a wonderful story. So let's get to it.
And we met in Bookman's and we were discussing somehow just evolution of a conversation. I said, yeah, I like to paint. It's very casual. He said, well, let me see some of your artwork. I showed him, and he said to me at the time that, why don't you do a book, a coffee table book? And I thought it was a sweet thing to say.
Right.
Just like a way to compliment me, not really putting much merit in it. When I spoke to him probably like another week later, he mentions it again. And I was like, oh, you were serious? Not because not to take him seriously, but I guess I had never really looked at my art. I'm very new to doing artwork. It's actually developed as a therapeutic outlet for me in coming to terms with, my mental illnesses. But anyway, so once I realized he was serious, I was very humbled by that. He said, your work's good, it's interesting, I think you have a story to tell. And I said, well, give me 2 weeks to think about it, because he was ready to go.
Oh, yeah, yes.
And I'm still trying to absorb it.
Yes.
So I thought about it for 2 weeks, and he really was going to take no for an answer.
True.
Yeah. And I really, I just love the guy for it. He allowed me to be okay with stepping forward and showing my work when I wasn't even in that space.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just doing it to do it. And it's really, it's been a blessing. Wow. I'm really lucky.
Well, tell me a little bit about the evolution of your artwork.
Oh, geez. So I've literally been doing art for 1 year.
Wow. Okay.
Not to say that I've always thought I was artistic, but I would never say I'm an artist.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
It literally started with broken jewelry, and I was trying to recycle, reuse, replenish. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't stand something pretty to not have a new life. So I started just gluing things to things. And then I got, if you give me a can of liquid, like gold spray paint, you will eventually have to take it away from me, because I will just spray paint everything. And so it started there. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of trying to give broken things a new life. And then slowly by slowly, I just started trying to work with acrylics, and I do a lot of boxes. Oh, okay. And for whatever reason, to me, boxes are a safe place to put memories, pain, secrets that you have to keep, wishes, all those kinds of things, good or bad. And so I really like to do boxes, but then I started painting canvases. Who knows where I'm headed? I'm open. I'm self-taught. I have no formal teaching, so I don't have these, constrictions where I can't just do whatever I want, because it's not proper.
I know, right? That
I'm a
sounds
rebel.
really good.
Yeah. I just rebel, and that's part of the artwork is rebellion for me. It's fun. I'm excited.
Wow. So that is really cool to be able to have that opportunity to start from, do you hear the train?
I know, I love it.
I know, me too. Can you hear the train, listeners? I hope you can. Anyway, but to go back to having how did she say it? Giving life to broken things.
The island of misfit toys was always like, when I was a kid, I wanted to be on that island with those toys. I just, I always loved the underdog, the anti-hero. And I see beauty in places. I'm attracted to the three-legged dog. You know, I will always pick that one as a pound. I need that three-legged dog. The one-eyed cat, give it to me. Because I can't stand to see anyone ostracized that hasn't earned it. Some people earn it.
No, that's true. Some people do earn it, don't they?
Right. So, and to throw, like, especially like you beautiful earrings, a real gemstone, you lose one. What are you gonna do with the other?
I know, right?
So you glue it in the eye of a skull and you spray it with gold spray paint. And there you go. You have something new.
So I noticed in your book the pictures of the boxes. I also noticed a few skulls.
Yeah. Death, right? So coming through all this, I'll say it right here on the air, I am 45 years old. Okay. So what does that mean? If I live to be 90, my life's half over, right? So no longer I have to recognize my mortality, the denial of youth, that you're immortal is gone. So skulls, I think, are beautiful. I've been attracted to them, and I've collected them all my life. And they also, to me, they're basically our kind of tombstone of our bodies, and so to me, I embrace death because it's walked with me since the moment I was born. Wow,
tombstone of our body. That's a cool phrase as well. I really like that. Yeah.
I'm a wordsmith. What can I say?
No, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, that is really cool. So there's boxes, the skulls. I also noticed religious iconography. Is there?
Yeah. So I think I love, like Catholic art and like the Orthodox, really things that go. I love history, right? And I'm fascinated with the Catholic Church. I was raised in the Episcopal Church, very, very similar, and rituals and ceremonies and, gold leafing and there's just something.
The smells and bells.
And in my studying of spirituality and the history of the church and paganism, there's so many parallels. And to me, a picture of Jesus represents, so many different things to so many different people, and I just love it. I have since I wear a lot of, I wear a rosary every day.
Oh, yeah, so, I didn't know
that.
Okay, thanks for pointing that out.
It comforts me, even though I'm not a Christian. It's okay. But I see my story, my connection to the Universal Mother in those icons, and I still think a house of worship is a house of worship. It doesn't matter if it's a temple, mosque, somewhere where you're safely, you can speak to your gods in peace is important to all of us,
That's interesting, and that actually brings me to the next question, the title of your book.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It's, yeah. There comes a time for people who bottom out emotionally, when if you can quiet the ache of that place, you can hear that you're wanted and loved by the universe. And I feel so blessed to have heard her whisper. This is a spiritual thing. This is not a religious thing. I'm sharing this publicly, but it is such a private, beautiful relationship that I wish everyone could have. And however the narratives sound, it doesn't matter what the characters are described as. That's the name I give to the essence of where I think we all came from. And I needed that. I almost didn't make it. You know what I mean? Like, I really was on the edge. And thank God that I feel in the light, that I'm awake, and I feel very lucky, because it could have gone the other way.
Right.
So.
What is the title of your book?
So Cradle of Grace is the womb. Yeah, it's like that womb.
Cradle of Grace.
Yeah, and so it's
on Amazon, right?
It is on Amazon.
Yes.
It's also I'm almost have a website. I'm working on it. Yeah, I know. I'm new to all this, so this is like artistry 101. But so yeah, there'll be links and stuff. But the cradleofgrace.com is the name of the website, and then of course my publisher Jazzy, and then Amazon, of course. Yeah, it's out there. If people want to find it, or it'll find you.
Well, that is really cool. And so you're really touching on some deep parts of yourself there for a moment, as far as the personal aspect of healing, and how this is such a big part of your art, and how your art has been developing over the past year.
Right. Well, it started as time filler, or maybe like a like people start crafts to stay busy, right? And that's kind of where the therapy. So you don't. It distracts you and it puts energy somewhere. It literally started like that, and then there was like this evolution. And before I'm aware of it, it's really Oba that like said, "Hey, like." There's more here than it's not it's not like you make you put a puzzle together and then you put it away in the corner, you've just done 20 puzzles, but it's you're not displaying it anywhere. So really I didn't have a goal. I simply knew that this thing made me feel better, and I started to get jazzed about how my pieces looked, and giving them and seeing other people get excited. And so Oba helped me be comfortable with celebrating that and putting myself out there. No matter what, people are gonna love it, not whatever. I'm not even worried about that.
Right.
There's no ideal of like what this journey's, where I'm headed. I'm just excited to be on this journey. It's so different from where I came from and what I thought I would be.
Wow. That is so cool.
Thank you.
Oh, it makes me want to take a breath here. Dude, I'm going to go ahead and play a song. And let's see. I'm going to put on Abby Lincoln, A Turtle's Dream. Well, this is a moment to take a few moment break here. You're listening to KMKR 99.9 FM, coming to you live in Tucson. And we are talking with Elle Lockler and her new book that is coming out, her experience as an artist. And now we're going to get back into the conversation, but I'm afraid I kind of dropped the needle. So we're dropping the needle. Welcome back to our conversation. Just, it feels, I don't know, there's just something that's so ineffable about that place, I think.
It's womb-like. I mean, that's really what that just kind of like a deprivation chamber, I guess, where you can kind of just float in your thoughts, and, you hear your heartbeat kind of, and tune out the static. There's a lot of static in our everyday lives, and we lose ourselves in that. And my artwork is literally a visual manifestation of me going to that place regularly and healing myself, and it's nice because I spent so much time in an unhealthy place that
so how did you get introduced to the idea of doing art as therapy in a way, would you say? Or
okay, it wasn't even like that.
Wow, okay.
That happens a lot in my life, where I'm making moves with my right hand, and my left hand has no idea what's going on. So, my husband, he does cars. He does the crafts, like the little cars.
Oh, okay.
He wouldn't like me. It is a man craft. It's but those, yeah. Anyway, he's doing that, and somehow I was like, I want to do a craft. I was really stressed out at work, and it just I needed something to fill my time. I wasn't sleeping well, and so I just, like I said, started gluing stuff to stuff.
Wow.
And then it just got an itch. It's like I literally was, reading as I'm walking, not paying attention, and people are slowly pushing me towards one door, and then all of a sudden I looked up and I realized I just went through a doorway, and I'm like, wait a second, where am I? Oh, I like it here.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of, there was no specific direction. And I'm glad, because it was just very fluid and organic, I'm literally, there's no structure here. And I like that freedom. I don't need structure. The structure police are not showing up on me anytime soon. I don't have to worry about it.
Yay.
Right?
Absolutely. We don't need them.
No, we do not.
Oh my gosh. So since we're in this audio world right here with the radio, I'm curious to say you put your headphones on. What do you listen to?
Oh, goodness. I'm really into a posh right now. I really like... oh goodness, you go to so many places. Oh, Catatonia. They're this very unique European dark metal.
Oh yeah?
So I either like electronica, really crazy, trap and stuff, or I really like melodic, kind of mournful, melancholia, nostalgic kind of music. That's pretty much all I listen to. I listen to club music a lot. I don't go to the clubs, but I like the energy of it. Controlled chaos.
Controlled chaos.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned earlier off whatever we are offline about opera, that you like opera.
My father raised us with music. Was very much a part of my upbringing. On Sundays, no television. You had to get your chores done, and he would blast vinyl records. When I was so opera, Amadeus, the movie Amadeus. Mozart.
Oh yes.
So it's a beautiful film, and my dad bought the soundtrack, and that regularly was played at our house. So I really fell in love with that. And then I had a friend's house whose father always played Vivaldi.
Okay.
And so and it just the depth of emotion that comes out in that is amazing, and it's. It's historical. It's something that it's important to our history, to tell our story.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at. I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
Go for it, girl.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Oh, what should we play on the radio after the next time that we take a break? It's like I should look up some Maria Callas and because she's like La Divina.
Ooh,
she's like one of the most famous opera singers.
Okay, I love that. I
love her, and but I don't know where she is. I'd have to kind of do a little search here, and then I was looking up that other one too on Spotify. Well, anyway, but back to music, and back to what's in your headphones, and back to what inspires you.
I don't know. I was thinking about that today. About it. Basically, I literally the triggers that build the creative process for me. Because I don't have this set. I don't know how other artists work, right? I don't pre-sketch anything generally. It just kind of happens, and I'm usually inspired by an object, a color. Is really I don't know why, but I will go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and I will look through the paints, and the colors are what inspires me from there. I again love anything metallic, gold, rose gold, and then if I see an object that I think needs a new life, and then sometimes I'll see a shape, and so then I'll go and I really love the mythology and goddess and gods, and so I'll see a shape and then I'll research that, and I'll be inspired by a story, and I kind of try to tell it in print, but I can't think it just happens.
So do you find stuff? Do you go to the thrift store and stuff?
I do that sometimes. I do. I do that, and I love repainting religious statues. So and kind of geeking them out, a little dark, but I love horror films, and I love I love it. I only do a few impressions, and they're all from horror films. So I won't do them on that right now. But so yeah, because I like controlled fear too. Like basically, like so scary movies. Like there's going to be an ending, and you're going to live through it, right?
Okay.
And so you want to be there, as opposed to like really having a serial killer in your home, which you do not want that to happen.
Right.
Like roller coasters. So, and I kind of feel like to me, by celebrating the morbid, it's kind of like it doesn't affect me. Like I love graveyards. They're quite peaceful actually. The dead. They don't bother me. It's the living that are pain in my, that cause you, or, where all the trouble comes from. So, it's, who knows? I really don't highlight that in my head, what inspires me. I know something whispers in my ear, and I just keep, until I look at it and I go, that's done.
Wow. Awesome.
Thank you.
So let's let me just think here a second. So you've got your book is, let me kind of go a little bit into where it is. You said it's on Amazon.
Correct. It's being sold, of course, on Amazon.com. And then I have a website, cradleofgrace.com. It's not completed, both in a few days. Like you can also order there, and then also from the publisher, Maya. So there's 3 places, and hunt me down. So
based on doing this and everything, where do you want to go with I mean, is this giving you ideas of what to do?
So I really would like to I want to be able to do this regularly. I want to be able to keep a roof over my head with this. I really do. I would love to make a living or incorporate this somehow. I never knew I was going to do this. I actually got into nursing school. And
you went to nursing school?
I got into, let's clarify. Let's make sure we understand. No, I did not go to nursing school. I got into nursing school. That was also the very beginning of my unraveling. Okay. So, and when I pulled myself out of that darkness the first time, I didn't have it in me to be a caregiver like that, because I barely survived it, right?
Right.
And it's so interesting how I'm totally that's all I wanted to be, as a nurse. And then when I finally kind of like stood in my space, and said, okay, I survived that, right? And how did I survive it? The part of me that wanted to be a nurse so freaking bad was gone. Because I literally gave all of that energy of maybe a lifetime of like being a nurse into surviving one of the darkest periods of my life, which wasn't even, it was just the beginning of it,
Wow.
And that's okay. Letting go of that is, I'm so much more happy right
it's
now.
part of the healing process, isn't it? Letting it go.
Yeah, it's so much more fun than that. I'm glad there's people that do it. You got to recognize when you would suck at something, and my bedside manner was gone. Yes, I can say. Yeah, for sure. And that's all right.
That's really cool. So you realized then at that point that the helping profession, the nursing, wasn't for you.
It really wasn't, and that's like, it's, you invest so much in ideas of what your life's going to look like in adulthood, right? So going to college, you shape everything towards a goal, and you invest, and to spend that much time to walk away from it. I'm so grateful that I'm grateful and happy about it, and not devastated by it or regretful, because I think that happens is people go, I should have been a, and guess what, sweetheart?
I could have been a contender.
Yeah, exactly.
Charles Bronson, that dates me big time. Charles Bronson in some movie says, I could have been a contender.
Exactly. So, and that's part of the, just let it go. Like, it's not what is beating yourself up about this thing that just didn't happen. What is that getting you now? You're wasting what you have left, because you have more time ahead of you, or more time behind you than you have ahead of you. Because I learned this in life coaching. Yesterday never happened. It didn't. Like, it really, because you can't change it. And it's the story you told, as opposed to what really happened.
Well, that's true.
Right. Tomorrow never comes. It really doesn't. We are only right here today. And so live it now. You know what I'm saying? Because you keep trying to plan for the future, well, guess what? It might not come.
That's true.
Right? I'm not going to worry about it. But it took a long time to be this like chill about it all.
Because you said you went through a second dark period.
Oh yeah, like you would, yeah. It was kind of, I needed the universe wasn't done smacking my my arse
proverbial.
around. Yeah, and that's okay because I didn't quite get it. I wasn't not fully, like, it was not enough to come out to here, and that's okay. I'm grateful, you know, and the first time I wasn't, so that's, you know what I mean, there was so many negative emotions, and I was so lost in it, and I was still trying to fake being the person that I was, and I hadn't really acknowledged the person that I really was becoming or meant to be. You know, I was trying to please people that weren't even around anymore. What was I doing? You know what I mean?
Well, and it sounds like you've come to a really good place of equilibrium, and I like how you use the word. You mentioned gratitude.
It is. It's being grateful, I think, is part of. It's such a loving process. To be grateful also means you love yourself, because you're basically telling the universe, you know, thank you for acknowledging me in this event, presence, whatever, putting someone in your life, like how Oba came into mine. So it's a celebration of all the wonderful things in life, I think, to be grateful, because to be bitter and resentful, jealous, all that is such like, you know, it's a trap.
And it's a trap, and it's like dark and gooey and yuck
and wasteful.
Yeah,
and just not. I think the gods want us to celebrate ourselves, all of it, you know. Embrace your scars, you know. Put a like big neon sign, you know, kind of thing on them. Right here, scar. Look at it. Look at it.
I love it. So, kind of back to selling the books and what you want to do artistically, like as you think about what directions you want to go in.
Well, you know, that's, I would love to, basically, I would love to put pieces out there that are part of, you know, when people do, I don't say that I want to do a mural, but what I'm saying is that I'm open to so many things, that artwork, so many iconic pieces inspire, like they still give you that emotion every time you see it, right? And I kind of feel like I want to put my handprint in the wet cement of existence, just so a few people like look at it and remember, like, you know, someone remember my name, or remember, like, hey, that Elle Lockler 100 years ago, I think she did that piece, she was crazy. And yeah, so that's really, I would love to be part, just of work with other artists and be in that process, because it's so much fun, and it's so much better than I'm having more fun than I've ever, and by myself in my little corner with my headphones, right? And perhaps too, if I could help one person, just, you know, when you're sick, when you are alone in your insanity, it is painful in a way that I can't describe. Especially when people want to take their own, those kind of the dark places, right? That every day many people lose that battle. Right. If one person quiets themselves because they're inspired by, they try to just like, what did she do? I'm gonna remember to do that, and they hear the whisper of the universe, and they come out of it, then I can take that to my grave. That I helped someone literally walk into the light and not be afraid to just, you know, pull themselves back together. So that's where I, you know, so I guess I will be. That's as much as a caregiver that I can be, is to inspire people to just, you know, love yourselves and make yourself get better, man.
That is so. I thank you so much for sharing this.
Thank you.
It feels like you've come a long way.
Yeah.
And it feels like you've got a long way to go. Absolutely. And you're in a wonderful space.
I am. This is so nice. It's it's what I write, you know, and in my introduction I talk about Carl Jung, about how that on the shadow self and the archetypes of who we are, that I'm grateful and having so much fun to have come out of the dark, but I also respect and love that darkness because I wouldn't be here right now, you know. I'll take it. I'll take it.
So if there's something that you want to, like a blessing or something you want to send off to all the people who might find your book, who find your art, or...
yeah, I mean, honestly, it's fun to look at, I think. It's, like I said, I think we were speaking when we were actually on air, and that if truly it stops someone, you know, if I can save anyone from, you know, basically spending themselves in a very dark place the rest of their lives, or taking their own lives, if I could stop just one person, so, you know, it's therapeutic, it's entertaining, you're not interested, you're very interested, you're inspired, all of it, I give it to the universe, you know, let it, whatever happens now, right? This is a fun journey. And like I always say, may the Schwartz be with you.
Oh, yeah, may the Schwartz be with you. I saw that on there. Yes, thank you for bringing that up.
So thank you for having me.
Oh, you bet.
This is fun.
I'm going to ask you to stick around and help me choose some music.
Right on, I like it.
All right, so I'll put something on right now. And all right, well, thank you again to Elle Lockler for joining me, Venus Vox, on the Venus Rising Show. Coming to you on KMKR 99.9 FM. And yeah, stick around. We're going to listen to more music.